Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm here with Gary Yeoman of Voxtur. We're going to do an update on what's going on with the company, and then we'll open it up for questions. So, Gary, thank you very much for doing this.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I think that, obviously the people that are on the call today, most have been with us for a while, and they've seen the ups and downs of the marketplace. And, our position simply is that we had a strategic plan, we had a vision, we have a strategy, and we're not veering from that. There's, what happens in the marketplace is something that is beyond our control. And what is in our control is an executing on our strategy and our vision. And so I think, I can probably start by looking at individual components of our business and then giving you an update on what we're doing there and what, it looks like in the future. And to the extent that people have questions on a number of issues, which I'm sure that they will, I'm happy to, to deal with those, individually and hopefully give them some insight on what we're doing and some confidence in what we're doing. So we have three main businesses, right? We have the title business, we have a valuation business, we have a tax business, and all of that is fortified with our trading platform, which is, includes the Blue Water business that we just completed. So let me just deal with each one of those as far as the key initiatives that are taking place and, and how that, bodes for the future. So I'll start with our property tax business. We believe that there's a budget coming down in the province of Ontario in the next couple weeks. And as a consequence of that budget, there'll be a housing platform laid out, and that'll include real property tax analytics. Do we believe that to be happen? That's what we're told. Will it happen? We believe it will be. Anything is possible. But that in itself is a massive contributor to revenue for us. It not only will generate pure profit for us in the neighborhood of about over $300,000 a month, but in addition to that, there will be 444 municipalities that will be taking that platform in and all wanting service from that. So we see massive growth and profit for our tax business, and that's in place. It hasn't happened as quick as what we want, but anyone that's familiar with politics, no matter where it is in the world, as you weave through the grindings of the legislature, not always do things happen as quick as what you want. But we have absolute confidence that this will be happening, hopefully within the next 3 to 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever. But it's there, and it's a massive contribution to our bottom line. In addition to that, we continue to work with major lenders to roll out our PTA in the U.S. And work with municipalities as well. So that's what we're going to continue to do. But we have a strong confidence in the tax business and the growth where we're going with that. On the title business, we have attorney opinion letters. To make it clear for those that are on the line. Instead of traditional title insurance, where you're paying on average of $2,500 and just doing it, through the traditional way, we've come up with an attorney opinion letter that is backed by the Federal Financing and Housing Authority, is backed by the GSEs, including VA. It also has been acknowledged, recognized, and supported by Fannie and Freddie. So, all our alternative is the attorney opinion letter, which probably will be rolled out at $800. And quite frankly, some of you may have read some news that Fannie is considering on certain properties the waiving of title on on them transferring the mortgages into Fannie. That certain properties probably represents maybe 10% of the marketplace. I mean, we're talking about newer subdivisions that have 2 or 3 year old properties that one owner, and so therefore they're mitigating and looking at the risk and potentially waiving that. We think the alternative to that is AOL, which we can reduce significantly in price depending upon the type of work that is needed, and to be able to offer that policy at, you know, at minimum, you know, a couple $100 or whatever. Certainly, you know, we fit well with that speculation. Again, it's only a smaller portion of the market, but we think that what we have answers the bell. We even have a name for it. It's called Project Slayer, which we've had, you know, in our, you know, packet of projects that we have developed, you know, over time. So we're actually encouraged by changes going forward, because that's what our business is all about: making home ownership more affordable, and in us being the alternative to traditional costs right now in title, like $2,500. From a valuation standpoint, we're continuing to gain market share. I'm not sure if most of you have been following it, but the First American sold ACI to a company called I think at Accurate Appraisals, and quite frankly, this is something that they're really interested in us, because what we have developed is that we have replicated every appraisal record, you know, in North America. We have data, you know, in the US in a fairly substantive portion, as much if not more than anybody, and we're working on it in Canada right now. But we have data right now that we can actually populate those appraisal records and deliver a full digitized appraisal report to the appraiser with all of the data on it, the comps on it, the sales on it. And so, you know, what we can do is significantly reduce the cost, you know, of providing valuations for the purposes of getting a mortgage. And so that, you know, that continues to gain some traction on that. We've had, quite frankly, a number of been approached by a number of different investors and entities wanting to buy ANOW. I think that, quite frankly, you know, over this time period where stocks are down, our stock price is down, there's a number of entities that are out there right now that have very, very substantive interest in Voxtur. They love our valuation practice, like exactly with what we have with our Nexus platform with ANOW. They love our tax business. They love our trading platform. You know, they love AOL. So, you know, quite frankly, you know, individually, the values of those businesses far surpass what is valued on the marketplace today. And so we review today as a bit of an anomaly, that we know that the sum of our individual parts are much, much more valuable. And so, again, we're going to continue to focus in on our strategy and our vision, because what makes it strong is not just the individual success that each has, but when you aggregate them all together and the synergies that they represent will create an even further value. So it's a matter of patience, we believe, that has to be exerted here more than anything else. So again, on the valuation side, actually sales and transactions are picking up again. So we've actually got back to profitability with our valuation piece, and so we're encouraged that's going to continue. In addition, we're going to get a lot of default work, you know, on the valuation side, and so we're pretty happy about that. On the titles, two aspects of our title business is substantive. Our title business is primarily broken into two categories. One is the technology that we have to facilitate defaults and bankruptcies. So, you know, one of the reasons that we bought ALaw was the technology that they had for the default business, you know, and the I guess bankruptcy place. Defaults fell off, you know, as interest rates dropped, and now interest rates are rising, and there's, you know, significant market pressure right now on, you know, on dealing with defaults and foreclosures. I think that a lot of the lenders have been somewhat gun shy for fear that the governments will step in again and, you know, chastise any what they call proactive measure with respect to dealing with recovering of of the payments. But there's enough evidence that we have right now with all of our lenders that support the fact that defaults will be coming back, even in our particular group. So we will continue to improve our profits on the default, but most importantly, on the attorney opinion letter, we have over 30 major banks that have signed up, and they're all going through their own what we call pilot projects. But we expect to get some good traction with that. The last major puzzle that we put together with respect to our strategy was having a trading platform. In every case, when you have mortgage servicing rights, when you have whole loans, we have non-qualified mortgages, scratch and dent, all of those loans, have to be traded. Investments banks that are holding those, large lenders that are holding those, need to liquidate. And certainly, who do they sell them to? They sell them to banks, because banks need customers. We kind of bought it at a perfect storm, but we also know that, for the most part, unless there's a catastrophic event or a very unusual event, it's a pretty anti-cyclical opportunity for us, because it's playing in the secondary market. So where there's no refinancings, you got HELOCs on the secondary side to rely on. And so, obviously we'll be involved in that. But where we're trying to make inroads right now, and I've got 3 calls this week with some of those service providers, is creating APIs to give them access to pressing a button and say, if there's a trade, then you need tax title evaluation, and we have those reports available. And so all of that will start taking place over the course of this year, and resulting in getting the value for that investment that we thought we would. And so we're more bullish because, quite frankly, we've had so many people banging on their door wanting what we have. So we were kind of ahead of our time. We rolled through a few of the ups and downs, but quite frankly, if anything, what it has brought to my attention and fortified what we have is that each individual business unit is in much demand in the marketplace. People are getting what our strategy and vision is at right now. We need to start delivering on our profits, increasing our profits, and growing that way, which we are. Again, I could say that we're much more valuable individually right now, but a lot of technology businesses are that today. And so if it was a panic, we could say, okay, let's just break it up and, sell our individual businesses and, be worth whatever that cumulative amount is. But quite frankly, we think we're only, a couple of stone throws away of fortifying that strategy and that vision. And that's what we're going to continue to do.